In Kyrie's words, it was just meant to be educational to his people.
Let's just have a conversation, because more than likely what we find with any race, any religion, our differences are a lot less than our likenesses. Yeah, so right into it, man. Kyrie has been suspended by the Brooklyn Nets and lost his deal, or his endorsement deal, with Nike. So Thursday evening, the Brooklyn Nets decided to suspend Kyrie Irving without pay for at least 5 games for his refusal to apologize for posting a link to a document, or to a documentary that contains some anti-Semitic falsehoods. He
Mhm.
also, a day later, lost his Nike deal because of this situation. So, with all that being said, Sticks, how do you feel about Kyrie and this whole situation about the documentary and his suspension with the Brooklyn Nets?
Um, I'm kind of on the fence about it, honestly, because of course Kyrie is an amazing person. He has had some weird takes in the past, but he's an amazing athlete. He's an amazing guy. Um, so the link that he posted was in his words meant to be educational. Now, I know all of y'all have probably already looked this up, but for those who don't know, for what anti-Semitism is, it dates back to the birth of Christianity, saying that the Jews were directly and collectively responsible for the crucifixion. Okay, but now in the 21st century, they're saying that the Jews are trying to control the world with capitalism and propagate communism by controlling the news media. Look, I don't want no smoke. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, giving y'all the information that I've researched and trying to figure out what's going on with Kyrie. We love all religions. We love all races and all forms of people. We are not here to spat anything anti-Semitic. I promise you. We don't want no smoke.
Yep.
But we just here to give out the news. So that's what anti-Semitism is, coming from the media, coming from what people are saying that Kyrie is doing, Kanye is doing, this, that, the third.
Hmm.
But in Kyrie's words, it was just meant to be educational to his people. He was doing some research on the background of the Jewish community and some of the cultures in the religion, and he looked on Amazon, found it, watched it, shared it. To me, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because from what he was trying to do was he was just trying to educate his people. Since y'all are talking about anti-Semitism all over the news, all in the media, this is what y'all saying Kanye is doing. I did some research. I got a little bit of insight. Now y'all should watch this and get some insight as well. So that's
Hmm.
what his situation was. To me, I'm cool with that. Kyrie, I don't think you did nothing wrong. You didn't say you were anti-Semitic. You didn't say you were against the Jewish community. You didn't say any of this. You just shared a link. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm cool. What you think?
So, I mean, if we follow the same rhetoric as we did with the artist formerly known as Kanye,
Mm-hmm.
then Kyrie is wrong.
True.
But
Agreed. Agreed.
But, in this situation, with the situation of Kyrie, I don't feel like it's as cut and dry as Kanye's situation, because Kanye just flat out tweeted what he tweeted about the Jewish
Mm-hmm.
community. With Kyrie, yes, he posted a link to a documentary that has anti-Semitic, um, statements of falsehood in it, but he never said how he felt about the documentary. He never said anything anti-Semitic that came.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing anti-Semitic came from his mouth. Nothing insinuating anti-Semitism came from his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, we can't condemn somebody for posting something and we don't know their true intent behind what it is.
Exactly.
And so, like, and that's why I said last week the cancel culture is starting to get really toxic, because
Mm-hmm.
without even having information, true clear cut information or evidence to support
Mm-hmm.
why you're canceling somebody, we're using assumptions to fill those voids. And I mean, I think we all know, if anything, what we learned from Kyrie last year with him sitting out for not getting the COVID vaccination is
Mm-hmm.
he's going to stand on what he stands on,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you back him into a corner. Um, I don't know Kyrie personally, and many will think differently than how I think. I feel like he's a educated individual. I mean, at least
Very
that's the
much
way
a
he
free
presents.
thinker. Very
Yeah,
much a free
at
thinker.
least that's the way he presents himself.
Hmm.
But he's also stubborn. And so
Hmm.
the reason that he's in the situation that he's in right now is because they said he refused to apologize.
True.
But if you look at the timeline of how all of this took place, he posted the documentary. He posted the link to
Hmm.
the documentary that's on Amazon. I actually just purchased the book a couple days ago just to see, like, okay, like I said, I want to do my own research. I'm not going to go off of what somebody said.
Right.
He posted the link. Somebody from Rolling Stones releases an article that says, actually what is in the documentary. And then from there, all of the backlash starts to come. The next day,
Hmm.
Kyrie releases a tweet saying where did it go? What did he say?
I got it right
Yeah,
here for me to read it.
yeah, go ahead
Mhm.
and read that. He says
It
that
says,
what?
I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti Semitic. Instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters, they were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary.
Mhm.
He said, to all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize.
So that was the latest apology. That was the last apology that he did. The one that he
Hmm.
did initially that didn't say I apologize. He actually just says it was very close to being an apology, like a complete
Hmm.
apology by saying I apologize. He just did not say I apologize. But in this tweet, the one that came after the initial backlash came, he says I'm an omnist, which means someone that believes and respects all religions, and
Hmm.
meant no disrespect to anyone's religious beliefs. He just wants to embrace and learn from all walks of life. Does that sound like an apology to you? I mean, it doesn't sound
Not,
like
no,
go ahead.
no, it doesn't sound like an apology. It's an admission of him. It's him acknowledging that he might have been wrong for doing it, but it wasn't him apologizing for what the backlash was that came from it. But then,
So
nah, to
I
me,
have a
it wasn't.
different
Yeah,
opinion on that. I feel like that the only thing missing out of there is I apologize.
for sure, for sure, I agree.
So I feel like, I mean, okay, it might
Like I said,
not if
it's an admission of guilt, but it's definitely
yeah,
not.
for
It's
sure.
definitely not an I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we okay. So now we're back on the same boat. I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
that shouldn't no, that statement shouldn't have enraged everybody to continue to ask the questions that they asked of Kyrie and want him to disavow anti-Semitism because
Hmm.
he basically said, He basically said, "I want to learn from these different religious beliefs, and I'm embracing all religions, all races." It's unlike what
Yeah,
Kanye did by going
yeah,
on a damn world tour saying
man.
what he said. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
it's it's different. Um, but to me, again, I'll say like what you said earlier. I don't want any smoke. Um, with this, we're just saying how we feel and what we believe to be true about this Kyrie situation. And
Hmm.
my real issue with the whole thing, and then I'll turn it back over to you, is
Hmm.
the media once again is putting their 2 cents on it and basically bullying Kyrie to, or basically did bully Kyrie to apologize, and he wouldn't apologize, and then he got suspended, and
Hmm.
now he has to apologize and go through these 6 steps that he has to complete in order to get back
Hmm.
into the NBA. I just have a problem with how nobody really I have a problem with nobody really cared that he posted that link until the media did what they did, and
Hmm.
now it's, I want to say, a fake outrage.
You think it's okay? Okay, that's a good take. I'm gonna ask you about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but leading up to the suspension, it was like from when he posted it earlier in the week. It was a couple of days where it grew into, like you said, an outrage. I'm gonna put
Mhm.
quotes on it because you said fake,
Yeah.
but for the Brooklyn Nets and the owner Josiah to punish Kyrie,
Mhm.
and it had sided with the public in believing that Kyrie's refusal to condemn his comments and the contents of the film that he showed on social media, and it left them literally no choice but to suspend Kyrie, honestly.
Yep.
But the owner Joe Tsai had resisted and took his time and suspended him because he kind of wanted to see if he could educate Kyrie in what was going on. So he got the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, to come in and talk to Kyrie, and he watched the whole like a 3 or 4 hour hate-filled film and tried to talk to Kyrie about what his words and what his actions were doing to the public. And they kind of talked about the whole movie and this and the third, and it's like to me, I think Joe Tsai is getting some backlash for not immediately suspending Kyrie for what was going on. And the only reason why he's getting that backlash is because it's in the wake of Ye. To me, that's what I was thinking. It's in the wake of what Ye was doing and all of this stuff that's happening to Kanye, him losing all of his deals, he's losing his bank account, he's losing all of this money. And now here comes Kyrie a week later posting some of the same ideologies that Kanye had that he got killed for. Killed is a bad word, but he got, blown up for in the media. So why are you not taking the same stance with Kyrie and getting him up out of here, for lack of a better word, right?
Right.
So Joe Tsai issued a statement Friday declaring that he was disappointed that Kyrie appears to support the film that was based on the book that has the anti-Semitic disinformation, and described his desire to sit down and make sure he understands that this is hurtful to all of us. And as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, and religion. So he was low key trying to give Kyrie a chance to make it right, which I respect Joe Tsai for, low key.
Right. You respect. I feel like you have to respect. This might seem bad, but you have to respect both sides of it. You definitely have to respect. You have to respect that Joe Tsai tried to give it some time and give Kyrie the ability to, for lack of better terms, for lack of better terms, make it right. But you also have to look from the perspective of Kyrie. Again, I'm going to say we don't know his true intent for posting that link.
For what he said, it was just to educate. He educated himself, and he wanted his people to educate themselves as well. That's what he said. That's from his word.
Right, but so the question is, what type of education are you trying to put out there, right?
Because he posted a link with no he just posted the link,
anything.
no caption, no nothing, just posted the link. So we don't know why he posted it. So yeah, you're right.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously you can look at it from both sides. Are you trying to educate people to be hateful, or are you trying to educate people to not relive what Jews went through, what blacks went through to get to the point that they are right now? Are you trying to just start a conversation? And that's the thing that's lacking in this country. I know we don't want to get political, and I'm trying to stay away from it as best I can.
Right.
That's the thing
Facts.
that's lacking in our country right now is the ability to have a decent conversation with somebody that you disagree with. Because now it's just, oh, they don't think how I think. Let's get them out of here. Oh, this person is supporting this person. I don't like them. Let's just have a conversation, because more than likely what we find with any race, any religion, anything of anybody that we disagree with is our differences are a lot less than our likenesses. And so if we would have that conversation and just openly have an open dialogue, I think we would find that out.
And I agree with you on that too, because just a simple question of, so what did you mean by this? Or what was the reason for you posting this? So just a simple question like that can open up so much more of a conversation as to what Kyrie really meant. But like you said, man, cancel culture is so crazy now that it's like, okay, this film is anti-Semitic. We just got Kanye up out of here. Let's get Kyrie up out of here too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and they jump so fast to do that. It's so crazy, bro.
Exactly. And so that's why, and maybe I shouldn't have said fake outrage. It's definitely not fake outrage, but it's an outrage that was manufactured. It was
Agreed.
outrage that was manufactured, right? And I feel like it was by the media, not necessarily from the public doing their own research. It was somebody from, like I said, Rolling Stones posted it, and they did their research, and then it came out how it came out, and now everybody in the
Mhm.
public's like, "Oh, this is wrong." And I mean, the documentary's been out since 2018, so
Right.
I don't,
And
I
and, it's,
don't,
and that's the same thing Kyrie said. He was like, "Yo, it's 2022. History shouldn't be hidden from anybody."
right,
You know what I'm saying? That's another thing he said. He was like, "This you could have found this back in 2018." You know what
right.
I'm saying? I'm trying to educate my people, and in 2022, history should not be hidden from anyone. So I kind of now that he's actually coming out and speaking about why some of the reasons why he posted it and how he even came across the um the documentary in the first place. It's like, okay, I see what not Kanye, I see what Kyrie's saying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But initially, whenever he was asked about it after he posted it, he did seem kind of defiant. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? He
yeah,
kind of
because
yeah,
of the way he was asked the question. Well, he really wasn't even asked the question. They basically put the label on him of being anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitic,
And
exactly.
and like I said, if we did not learn anything about Kyrie last year, is he's gonna, if you back him into a corner, he's gonna stand on how he's kind of childish in a way when it comes
In a
to,
way.
situations where people go against how he feels. I mean, we know he's a flat earther, so he's not. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna say he's not all there, but there's obviously there's theories against why the earth is not flat, and then there's theories to why the earth is flat. Man,
Hmm.
I don't sit on
I
that flat
don't.
earth idea right now. And not to get
Yeah.
away from the topic that we're on, but we
Right.
know that Kyrie is, he can be defiant and go against the grain. And
Hmm.
so when he's backed into these corners, he's gonna stand on what he said. And he's not,
Hmm.
so when he shut down at that press conference after they played the Pacers, I think.
I think it was the Bulls.
The
No,
Bulls.
it was
Okay.
yeah, it was the Bulls. Well, the Bulls was the last game they won before he got it. So I might have been the Pacers. Yeah, you're right. You're
Well,
right. You're right.
whoever it
Yeah.
was, that press conference where it all blew up and he refused to apologize.
Hmm.
Um, he shut down because, as he said it, they put labels on him and put words in his mouth that he never said. And that's where I'm at. Is he
Yeah.
never said anything? Yes, he posted that, and I don't condone hate. I don't condone falsehood of any religion or any
Hmm.
race.
Hmm.
But we don't know the true intent of why he posted what he posted, and for us to cancel him for that, I think it's a bit premature. We learned could have asked the right questions to get him to open up about his true intent, and then
Hmm.
from there we could have learned more. We could have
Exactly.
condemned him or praised him for what he posted.
And that's for sure. And it's crazy because you could kind of see, because shoot, when they played the Chicago Bulls, he didn't take a shot until the fourth quarter. He only scored 4 points in that game.
Right,
And the funny thing is that this false label that they put on him, I'm gonna call it a false label because I definitely don't think he's anti-Semitic.
right.
But um this false label that they put on him definitely affected him, and his teammates noticed it. In the Bulls game, a lot of them were like, for a guy who is, known for averaging 25 to 30 points a game, you could tell that he was distant from the team. It was like an anvil hanging over the team. Like it was a weight
Mhm.
hanging over the team because of this whole situation through with Kyrie Irving. So it was like, it's, it, like you said, man, with a conversation, just asking somebody how they feel, or asking somebody what do you mean, or asking somebody like what was this about? Just asking that simple question can open up a whole new world of thought process with everybody that you speak to. Like
Right,
we got to learn how to communicate. Social media has taken that away from people.
for
It's
sure.
it's, it's giving them a platform to speak their mind, but it's also taking away that human interaction of, hey, how do you feel?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So it's like,
and it and also because we have so much information at our fingertips, and we can easily look at a headline and think we can gather the full depth of what the topic is about. We're quick to judge anybody that has an opinion that doesn't follow the information that we're looking at. The internet in itself, you can go down a rabbit hole of whatever you want to go down. I can look
mhm,
up a good reason for people to eat shit and have great have great facts to support that. But in
True,
reality,
true.
based off of what the internet says, but in reality is we should not be doing that. So I think, like you said earlier, we know a lot about Kyrie. We
Mhm.
know a lot of things that he has tried to make himself in the last couple of years. Being a racist or being an anti-Semitic person is not one that pops in my mind. Maybe he is, but how he has presented himself, the evidence of who he is in the last few years does not say that, has not said that to me.
At all, at all. So, just getting into kind of like the suspension. I know you said it was a 6-step process, and let you talk about that. But Joe Tsai, of course, was talking to lawyers and, of course, the league office, and of course, they landed on a 5-game suspension without pay, which is going to
Hmm.
cost Kyrie 1.2 million, and a requirement to complete a series of objective remedial measures to address the harmful impact of his conduct. So, what is that 6-step process, D'Lo?
I didn't have that down, but let me get it up for you.
No, I have it, but I was going to. So basically, in the email outline of the suspension to his agent, the conditions needed for Kyrie's reinstatement include a public statement recognizing that the
Hmm.
film is anti-Semitic, an apology for supporting the film and the falsehoods within it, training sessions on the dangers of hate speech, and then
Hmm.
also meetings with Brooklyn Jewish leaders within the community. So those are the things that he has to do as far as to get back on the court. Now he's going to serve the 5-game suspension, but in order to get back on the court with the Nets, he got to go through the list of things as far as making that statement, recognizing that it's anti-Semitic and things of that nature. So it's kind of like um, which we're gonna talk about later. It's kind of like the Ime situation, with Boston. It's like you gonna serve this year, you're gonna
Right.
serve your suspension, but then we gotta reevaluate to see if you can get back on the team. So it's kind of like that too, in a sense. So I mean, it's kind of affecting Kyrie a little. This is affecting Kyrie even more because he's on the. I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's on the last year of his contract this year because he was trying
Hmm.
to get traded this past year. His trade value was already low, so this might even affect that even more. So that like it might affect that more in the long term.
So I think he has an option next year, which
Hmm.
if he's smart, he would probably pick that up. But I
I
also
would
think,
too.
one thing we also know, another thing I shouldn't say one thing, another thing we know about Kyrie is money is not really a driving factor for him. So
Very true.
he very well could say, "I still want to be out of Brooklyn." The only thing that would probably keep him there is if Kevin Durant decides he wants to stay
Hmm.
in Brooklyn. And the way he's been playing the last 2 games, getting Kyrie out of there may be the option for him. But it's tough. We'll
It
see.
is tough.
The time will tell how Kyrie and this whole Brooklyn Nets situation will play out. I don't think
Hmm.
this one will go away lightly. Like we mentioned about Ime, and again, we'll talk about him later on. I
Hmm.
felt like that situation would die down within a couple of months. This Kyrie situation, just because of how Kyrie is perceived in the media,
Hmm.
for not only his decision last year, but for some of the things his pre-game and during game antics. I don't think this one will die down easily.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not going to die down too easily. He's already lost, his Nike contract. So they kind of taken. It kind of seems like a lot of these, the team and some companies, especially Nike, are taking the same kind of stuff that they took with Kanye.
Hmm.
Just kind of like, hey, we can't have this in our company, so we gotta let you go, type of thing. But
Right.
it's like there at some point, someone's behavior can do more than just damage the company's bottom line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you have your talent. We know that you're an inevitable talent, but at some point, it's like some of the things that you say from back 5 years ago with the flat Earth situation, and then a couple of years back with the non-vaccination, which I that ain't none of my business. I got vaccinated, but
Right.
everybody don't. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel like you want to do it, you
That's
ain't
your
got to do it. You
choice.
know what I'm saying? That's your
Right.
choice. You know what I'm saying? But it Kyrie at some point has to understand that pride comes before the fall. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Kyrie's future is in Kyrie's hands, and he might be the only person suffering through this experience, but he the only one who doesn't understand that. Like he's not the only person. So
Right.
he got to figure it out, man. I mean, but it's just weird, man, because I feel like you can't you can't be a free thinker anymore, bro.
I feel like, when does it stop?
Right.
When do we say, okay, now this is a bit egregious of what you guys are doing to this certain individual? Because
Mhm.
it's been plenty of people that before Kyrie posted that post about that film, and plenty of people after he posted it, that have posted things that they don't entirely agree with, but one part
Mhm.
of whatever it is that they posted, they agreed with. There's been plenty of people that have supported a person or a thing that they didn't entirely agree with, and we didn't condemn them, or they deal with or made deals with people or things that they don't entirely agree with, and we haven't condemned them as we have condemned Kyrie. Again, we're in a climate right now, so especially coming from the Ye situation a couple of weeks ago, where we are trying to combat anti-Semitism, and I get that, but I think we have, as a collective group of individuals or a group of people in America, have began to, like, move to the overly sensitive side of things, and not truly understand where anybody's coming from, and just condemning them without any evidence, and assumptions filling the void. And that's
True.
my final thought on it.
Yeah. Do you? I was going to ask one more question before we
Yeah,
ended the
yeah, go
Kanye
ahead.
segment. Do you think this is the last time
The
we see
Kyrie.
Kanye? I mean, Kyrie in a Nets jersey, bro. Like, do you think they waive him? If they do waive him, do you think he will be on a minimum contract with another team? Like, do any other team want to be in the Kyrie business? Like, what do you think?
I don't think it's the last time we see Kyrie in a Nets uniform. This may be the last year that he's with the Nets. But I do think he at least puts it on one more time,
Hmm.
maybe a couple of games. We know that, well, LeBron has came out against him, but I still think we know
Hmm.
that the Lakers would pick him up. Um, I don't
He
want to
also
say
said he
that.
wanted to play for the. He also said
Yeah,
he wouldn't mind going back and playing with LeBron in the summer.
yeah.
So
I
yeah.
I don't know for sure. I can't say for sure that the Lakers would pick him up, but in my opinion, um, if he did the 6 steps that the Nets have laid out for him,
Hmm.
and that they felt sincerity with it, then I feel like the Lakers would probably pull him in.
Yeah, I feel like and then my final thoughts are I feel like Kyrie, with a couple of the things that he's done over the years and how he struck a chord with the community and with the NBA, he's kind of digging a hole for himself a little
Mhm.
bit. He or has dug a hole for himself and he's digging it deeper. He just gotta, you know, he's gotta chill, bro. Like
Yeah.
his talent is inevitable. He's a superstar, probably arguably the best ball handler in the history of the NBA. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But with all that being said, your talent doesn't, which I don't think he has a bad character, but his talent doesn't surpass the character that he portrays and what people see him as. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
So
agree with that 100%.
he has to he's got to figure out a way to just at some point just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And you just play ball, bro. I don't want to be the shut up and dribble type, but when you posting things that are getting the world in a tizzy about what you're saying, then at some
Mhm.
point, all right, I just need to sit back. You know what I'm saying? And just,
Yeah.
do your thing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
There
that's
there's
that's my final thoughts on
consequences
it.
with freedom of speech.
There
You
is
know,
freedom
is
freedom of speech ain't free. For real,
yeah,
for real.
yeah. The
It is. You can say what
consequences.
you want, but there's a consequences to some things you say.
Right.
I don't understand, bro. I don't understand why this stuff keeps happening, dog.
Our entertainers, especially in the hip hop community, they need to be more mindful about staying out of situations that aren't favorable to them.